Okay, dive in with us. You know how sometimes you can just feel a shift happening? Right now, that's Indian cricket. And it's centered entirely around one massive event on the horizon, the five-test series against England starting June 2025.
Absolutely. This isn't just, another tour. It really feels like a seismic moment. We're talking about getting right into the absolute core of what's changing for the team, who's stepping up,
Yeah.
the immense challenges waiting for them, and, well, what this all really means for the future of the sport in India.
Exactly. We've got a stack of material here, notes, reports, analysis, and our mission is, well, pretty simple. Cut through the noise, give you the essential context quickly, and pull out those genuinely important insights that show you the heart of this transition.
And, you can't even begin to talk about Indian Test cricket heading into this English summer without acknowledging the void left by some absolute titans of the game.
Hmm.
Think back just a few years ago, India's last Test tour of England, 2021-22. That team felt like it was built on bedrock. It was brimming with experience.
It really was. I mean, that squad,
Yeah.
they had players who collectively brought 442 test caps into the dressing room. Yeah. Just think about that number.
Wow, 442.
Yeah. Fast forward to earlier this month, and two figures who felt almost, I don't know, immortal in the test arena, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, announced their farewells to the format.
Right.
This isn't just player turnover. It's truly the definitive end of an era, leaving legacies that cast shadows as long and deep as, well, the gateway of India itself.
Precisely. And that moment, that sense of conclusion, meant the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI, they had to make a decision for this upcoming England tour. A really significant, bold decision.
So what does that mean for the team on the ground? With Kohli and Sharma stepping away from tests,
Yeah.
the captaincy for the test side has been handed to Shubman Gill,
Yeah.
25 years old.
25. And Rishabh Pant is his deputy, giving Gill the captaincy at this, relatively early stage of his career. Well, feels like an incredibly powerful statement of faith from the selectors.
It does.
We heard Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar speak about this recently in Mumbai, wasn't it May 24th?
Yeah, he didn't sugarcoat it, did he? Agarkar openly acknowledged that guys like Kohli and Sharma leave, quote, big shoes to fill.
Mm-hmm.
But he was quick to frame this not as a problem, but as an opportunity for others to step up.
Yes, exactly. The message was clear. It's not about replacing those legends one for one, which is, impossible. It's about the collective next generation seizing the responsibility.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting for me. Agarkar also spoke specifically about Gill's readiness. He acknowledged that the experience he's about to gain in England, whether it's, a dream tour or a real baptism by fire, will, quote, build him for the future.
Right. That phrasing is key.
It really is. It suggests they fully anticipate this journey won't be smooth sailing every single moment.
Mm-hmm.
But they view these potentially bumpy roads as absolutely essential for his development and, I guess, the team's long-term evolution. It's an investment, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a long-term play. So let's look at the group stepping into these massive roles. The 18-member squad itself, it's a genuinely fascinating blend. If the last squad felt like, I don't know, the seasoned Avengers,
Yeah, good analogy.
this one feels more like a really highly talented group who've earned their shot and are now being asked to lead the charge. Maybe the young Avengers.
Huh, maybe. And the numbers tell a story here, don't they? 3 players are yet to even make their test debuts. B. Sai Sudharsan, Abhimanyu Eswaran, and Arshdeep Singh.
3 uncapped, yeah.
Plus, on top of that, 6 others have played 9 or fewer test matches. That's a significant amount of top level and experience stepping onto one of cricket's toughest stages.
It is, but you're right. We absolutely shouldn't mistake that lack of test caps for a lack of quality or potential. Not at all. These are players who have, dominated domestically, impressed in other formats. The talent is undeniable.
So who are the key figures we really need to keep an eye on heading over? Obviously, Shubman Gill. Front and center is the new captain. He's the new face of Indian Test cricket in many ways, isn't he? Known for that technique that looks almost effortless.
Mm-hmm. Silky smooth.
And a composure that seems almost unnerving for someone his age. He did impress with his captaincy for Gujarat Titans in IPL 2025, showed tactical awareness.
Yeah.
But leading a test side in England, That demands a completely different kind of resilience, a different strategy.
Totally different ball game. Then there's Rishabh Pant, the vice captain. He is the very definition of an X-factor player, isn't he? A wicketkeeper batter who, in a single session can completely flip the script of a match with his audacious stroke play.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, he had a bit of a patchy IPL 2025, but his raw, game-changing ability, it remains undeniable. And let's be honest, his relentless energy and that banter behind the stumps is legendary. Might just get under the skin of a few English batsmen.
Could be crucial. How about those potential debutants then? B. Saisudharsan. He comes with a first-class average that makes you sit up and take notice.
It really does. Impressive numbers.
He's known for a calm, methodical approach at the crease, which, well, that'll be absolutely vital against England's probing pace attack with the Duke's ball.
For sure. And Abhimanyu Iswaran, he's been putting in incredibly consistent domestic performances season after season, piles on the runs. It proves he has the temperament and the technique for the long format. He's earned this chance.
Definitely. And then Arshdeep Singh, he's been a star in white ball cricket. We know that. The million-dollar question is whether he can get that Duke's ball to swing consistently, like a pendulum in classic English conditions. It's a different art form, test bowling in England.
It really is. We also have some crucial, slightly more experienced faces, though. Yashasvi Jaiswal, he's coming off a very strong IPL 2025, and he brings that aggressive attacking batting style that could be explosive at the top of the order, potentially put pressure back on the bowlers early.
And he's getting that extra time, right? He's with the A squad over there now.
Exactly. Crucial acclimatization time. That's huge. Then there's Sarfaraz Khan. Remember how impressive he was against England in 2024? 350s on debut.
Yeah, great start.
He's back, adds real grit to that middle order.
And a return that feels almost like a callback to a different era. Kareem Nair is back after 8 years.
8 years. It's incredible.
You can't mention him without thinking of that unbelievable 303 not out against England in Chennai back in 2016. It's the stuff of legend.
One of the great test innings.
If he can tap into even a fraction of that form or, that temperament, he adds a really fascinating dimension to this batting lineup.
Absolutely. And the squad is rounded out with genuine match winners and exciting prospects, too.
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah, obviously. His unique action, his skill with the Duke's ball, he's always a constant threat. Nitish Kumar Reddy, a promising all-rounder, adds valuable balance. And then other talents like Ishan Kishan, Shardul Thakur, Akash Deep. It's a mix, isn't it? Raw potential, flashes of brilliance, and players ready to dig deep.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely vital to understand that this England tour, it isn't happening in isolation. It's the sharp edge of a transition happening across Indian cricket right now. This team is truly standing at a crossroads. The retirement signaled the end of that period where India was almost invincible at home. What was it? Lost only 3 test series there since 1987.
Incredible record.
Just unbelievable dominance.
But 2024, yeah, that felt like a stark wake-up call. That 0-3 home series lost to New Zealand, first one in 12 years.
Ouch.
And then the 1-3 defeat away in Australia during the 2024-25 Border Gavaskar Trophy. Those results weren't just losses. They really highlighted that this transition phase might be more challenging, perhaps messier than many anticipated. Exactly. And this tour of England is the very first major challenge of the new 2025-27 World Test Championship cycle. If those recent results were the wake-up call, this is the opportunity, maybe the necessary opportunity, for a significant reset, especially away from home.
It feels like Agarkar's message wasn't just about filling spots, but about a fundamental shift in expectation. The Legends built a legacy, sure, but now it's genuinely on this group to step forward and take ownership, to build the next legacy.
And stepping up to do that in England, well, that's notoriously one of the toughest asks in Test cricket. It's often been compared to trying to solve a complex crossword puzzle while simultaneously clinging on for dear life on a roller coaster.
That feels pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Conditions are famously unique, aren't they? Pitches designed to offer movement.
Yeah, always something in it for the bowlers.
Skies that seem permanently ready to weep, and the Duke's ball, which behaves like nothing else. Swings for longer, tests technique constantly.
And you just know England's experienced pace attack, like a pack of seasoned wolves, will be absolutely licking their lips looking at a relatively inexperienced Indian batting lineup.
Remember the last tour? Ended 2-2, a hard-fought draw, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was anchored significantly by the immense experience and, frankly, the performance of Kohli and Sharma.
Yeah, they were crucial.
Without them, the weight of expectation, the sheer pressure on Gill and this new guard, It's going to be immense.
No doubt. The series kicks off June 20, 2025, across 5 of England's most iconic venues.
Yeah, the classic grounds.
Places like the Hallowed Lords, which always feels a bit like the snooty aristocrat of cricket grounds.
True.
Edgbaston, which is more like the raucous party host, known for its incredibly lively atmosphere, can get really loud there.
Definitely.
And Old Trafford in Manchester. Definitely the moody artist, brilliant, but with a well-known penchant for bringing frustrating rain delays into the picture.
Always seems to rain there. Each ground presents its own psychological and technical test, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And to even begin preparing for these unique challenges, the India A squad,
Right.
including key guys like Gill and Jaiswal, they started playing 2 4-day matches against England Lions back on May 30th.
Right, getting stuck in early.
This isn't just practice, it's absolutely vital acclimatization.
Right.
Getting used to the ball, the pitches, the chill in the air, and just the rhythms of English cricket before the main event kicks off.
So important.
And this tour's significance goes far beyond the immediate results on the scorecard. It feels absolutely fundamental to laying the foundation for Indian cricket's next decade.
Yeah.
The retirements, while bringing a wave of nostalgia for what was, also serve as a powerful reminder that even the greatest move on. And that inevitably clears the path for new heroes to emerge.
It does. Players like Sudarshan, Eswaran, Jaiswal.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't just stepping into vacant spots. They represent a generation who grew up idolizing the very players they are now replacing. They have the potential to redefine what an Indian Test cricketer looks like, what they can achieve.
And the pipeline of talent feels incredibly strong, doesn't it? Partly thanks to platforms like the IPL, it gives young players exposure and experience performing under intense pressure, even if it's a different format.
That's true. It's also worth noting, actually, that the Indian women's team is having a huge year themselves. They're gearing up to host the ICC Women's ODI World Cup in India in September, October 2025.
Big tournament on home soil.
Yeah, and we've heard former selector Devang Gandhi is notably optimistic about their chances playing at home. They, too, are navigating their own transition phases, with players like Smriti Mandhana poised for significant influence. There's a shared sense of teams evolving. Maybe the men can draw some inspiration from their female counterparts, aiming for that World Cup success.
Definitely a parallel there.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the sheer practical challenges of just surviving a test tour in England. Sometimes, based on the conditions, it feels less like a sporting contest and more like a specialized survival challenge.
Huh. It really can feel like that. The ball seems to swing like a politician's promises right before an election.
Exactly. Does all sorts of unpredictable things off the seam, too.
A key survival skill for this relatively young batting lineup will be mastering the art of leaving the ball outside off stump. Deciding which deliveries not to play is as crucial as which ones to hit, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely fundamental in England. And they'll absolutely need to embrace the cold. English summers are famously not tropical heat waves. Packing those thermal layers is probably as important as packing their pads.
Good advice. They'll also need to develop incredibly thick skin, won't they? Learn to completely ignore the British tabloids. They can be famously harsh and critical of visiting teams. The best strategy, just smile, wave, and go score a century.
That's the way. And perhaps when things get really tough, channel their inner Rishabh Pant. When in doubt, pressure building, just hit an outrageous reverse sweep. It's the ultimate statement shot to disrupt a bowler's rhythm.
Love it. And maybe most importantly, praying for sun. Rain delays are so common in England, disrupt momentum. Though, as one humorous point suggested, maybe that downtime is perfect for perfecting their Instagram game while they wait.
Huh? Always look for the upside. But yeah, this England Test Series in June is just the start of what looks like a really jam-packed 2025 for Indian cricket across all formats.
It's relentless. Even before the test, they'd already faced England earlier in the year. 5 T20Is, 3 ODIs back in January and February.
Right. And then there was the Champions Trophy in Dubai, which kicked off February 20th. India played their opening match against Bangladesh there.
And India are seen as strong contenders for that Champions Trophy, aren't they?
Yeah.
They have a very good recent white ball record, including those big wins in the 2024 T20 World Cup and the 2025 Champions Trophy itself, with Rohit Sharma still leading the ODI side.
Yeah, white ball cricket is still looking strong. Later in the year, there's the Asia Cup, then a home series against the West Indies. It is a schedule that demands incredible physical and mental resilience from every single player involved.
Unbelievable schedule. And, for India, cricket is never just a sport. We know this. It's woven into the very fabric of national life. These retirements, they bring waves of understandable nostalgia for the heroes of the past.
Mm-hmm.
but they also spark immense excitement and anticipation for what the future holds.
You see it so clearly in places like Shubman Gill's village, Tak Karawala near the India-Pakistan border. That community is absolutely buzzing with pride. Right now, they're building a new stadium. Cricket enrollments for kids are soaring.
Wow.
It's a powerful, tangible reminder that every new star who emerges genuinely inspires an entirely new generation to pick up a bat and ball, dreaming of their own future in the game.
That's fantastic. And this squad, this uh, compelling mix of experience and raw talent,
Yeah.
they aren't just playing for themselves. They carry the hopes and dreams of over 1 billion passionate fans.
They really do. And look, there will inevitably be stumbles along the way. England is an unforgiving place for touring teams, especially inexperienced ones. Inexperience will show at times. That's
Yeah.
almost guaranteed.
But every truly great team, every iconic generation, had to begin its journey somewhere, didn't they? Often in the face of daunting challenges.
Mhm.
And this team, despite its youth, has the raw material, the determination, and the immense potential to grow into something truly special. This tour, it feels like the proving ground.
Yeah, absolutely. So as India takes this leap of faith and heads into the crucible of an English summer for this pivotal series, it leaves us with some really intriguing questions hanging in the air.
It does. Like, will Shubman Gill, at just 25, be able to quickly find his feet and flourish as a test captain in some of the most challenging conditions imaginable? Or will the sheer weight of the role take time to navigate?
Yeah. And can the incredibly promising new players like Bisai Sudharsan, Abhimanyu Eswaran, Yashasvi Jaiswal, can they handle the intense pressure of Test cricket on the grandest stage? It's a really challenging swinging attack.
Big ask. And finally, will Rishabh Pant's unique, often explosive approach behind the stumps and with the bat? Will it solidify him as a genuine legend of English tours capable of changing games single-handedly? Or will that high-risk approach occasionally present challenges for the stability of the batting lineup?
These are the big questions. This tour isn't just another series on the calendar. It feels like a truly significant moment, a defining opportunity for a new generation of Indian cricketers to step up, seize the moment, and start writing their own chapter in the long, storied history of Indian cricket. It is absolutely going to be one heck of a show to watch unfold.